Hi, 6th grade, this is Mrs. C. Today we're going to be using a note-taking strategy called Cornell Notes. This strategy is going to help us get organized when we are learning about a new topic or when we're watching a video or reading a text. This strategy will also help us make connections between what we know and what we are learning. Using this strategy, you will be able to support your visual processing, develop background knowledge, and build connections on the topics that you are learning in the 6th grade. So what are Cornell Notes? Cornell Notes are a note-taking strategy that helps us organize what we see and read in different resources, such as texts, books, even videos. It also allows us to understand and make connections between different ideas. In order to use the Cornell notes-taking strategy effectively, we need to do three things. We need to read or watch the resource carefully and in parts. We need to identify important information. And we need to write down details and key terms, followed by a summary of the resource. So these are some examples of what your notebook page or your journal page might look like when you are taking Cornell notes. Here on the left, we see a very simple way of organizing our paper in order to take Cornell notes. On a loose leaf paper, the first thing you have to do is definitely write the date. The date is very important because you can always refer back to that date for those specific notes. Then you're going to write your title or the topic or the question, your guiding question. When you're taking notes, you always want to have something to guide you in order for you to take relevant notes. Then you're going to divide your paper into 3 different sections. On the margin, which is this space to the left, you're going to leave that space empty for important terms or vocabulary and any questions that might pop up for you when using the resource. On the right-hand side, which is the larger portion of your paper, you're going to leave it blank so that you can take quick notes, make abbreviations, and write down any key thoughts and takeaways from the resource that you're using. On the bottom, you want to leave maybe 3 to 4 lines available for a summary. This is where we're going to take everything that we've learned and put it in a way that's going to help us understand and organize our ideas so that we can know what it is that we just learned. On the right, we have another example, which is very similar to this. And here, as you can see, you can also write down your unit or the essential question, but always it's going to be divided into 3 sections. A section for questions and key terms, a section for your notes, and the bottom section will always be for your summary. One great opportunity that you have to practice your Cornell notes is in Unit 2, Day 1. Here, not only is it the first unit that you're going to be learning for the year, it's also a great opportunity to begin to build that habit of taking notes. So let's see what that might look like. In Unit 2, Day 1, titled Geography and its Impact on Culture, we start to learn about how geography of a region around the world will help determine somebody's culture. We are asked to watch a video and then answer that question. But while we watch the video, it will be a good idea to take down some notes. So we're going to watch a minute of the video, and then we're going to go ahead and take down some notes based on the question that we have here, which I've put at the top of my Cornell Notes. How does the geography of a region help to determine one's culture? So as I view the video, what I'm looking for is any information about the geography, for example, like the land, the weather, and any information about culture. So let's get to it.
Icy windshields, blowing snow, sub-zero temperatures. It's been said that how one lives is partially determined by where one lives. Location, climate, and the natural resources of an area are key influences in how people live and will help us understand how to study a culture. What is a culture? Most anthropologists agree that a human culture is learned behavior acquired by individuals as members of a social group. There are several universal elements which need to be examined in order to understand and define a culture. They include geography and natural resources, social organizations, beliefs and values, and economic activities.
And we're going to stop it there because we're only going to take notes on this first minute of the video. So one of the things I heard was the word climate. I also heard the word anthropologist. So those are key terms that I can put down in my left-hand column. I also heard the word culture, which is what we're studying. And some questions that popped up for me while I was looking at the video was, what is an anthropologist? What do they do? And some things that I noticed about culture were culture is the behavior of a group of people in a society, and that there are 4 parts that make up a culture. And then I can go ahead and take even more notes if I need to on those 4 parts. After watching the resource, then I can write what this resource is mostly about. I can say something like, the culture of a society is based on where they live, for example. And this is how we would make use of the Cornell Notes strategy using one of our resources. Now remember, in order to use the Cornell Notes strategy effectively, we need to do 3 things. We need to read or watch our resource carefully and in parts. So remember, I stopped it after a minute and I started to take notes. So I'm giving myself time to think about what I just saw and processing those ideas. 2, I need to identify important information such as who, what, when, where, why, and how. So when you're analyzing a resource, always remember the 5 W's and an H. And finally, we need to write down details and key terms followed by a summary of the resource. Basically, you'll be answering, what was this resource all about?